for, high energy and, where is it? The energy. I just referred to you. You have the energy. So for high energy and higher hopes, am I right? Everybody here? Do you get in this business with high hopes that you're gonna become a millionaire, a billionaire? Say yes? Yes. That's right. Well, some of us will do well and some of us not so well. And unfortunately, the ones that they don't do very well, they end up leaving the business. And the stats are showing us that 80% of agents, they're actually giving up in the first reel in real estate. So in my years of real estate, I've learned that this business is not an ordinary business. And it's not like a regular job. And some of us here, we're coming from different backgrounds, and I think everybody can attest that this is not quite similar of what we experienced in other jobs that we had before. Am I right with that? Somebody else coming from other industries than real estate? And I wanted to share with you today and outline some of the trades and activities that will make you go through this and actually not to survive, not just not to be in that 80% category, but to thrive. And I wrote down here, get the morning right and the day will follow, and start the day the night before. Let's say you have everything planned the night before, you have your schedule, you have your goals, you have your numbers, you're doing your affirmations in the morning and you're super excited and you're looking at your kids and your why is really strong because they're pointing out they want to go to, whatever they want to go on vacation. You're dressed impeccable, your hair, ladies, your makeup, everything's great and the weather is perfect. You're really, really ready to go 9 o'clock in the office. You go outside, your car is perfect, clean, and you turn on and it's eye of the tiger. You're doing it, you're really doing it because you're excited and you got a flat tire. That's it. That's it for the day. You're probably not going to prospect today. And you're probably going to get extremely disappointed that your schedule is off the rails. And this is just a flat tire. But the reality is, and here we have Derek, can attest to that, you get a listing and you get to cancel it or you get to save it, but you have to be stressed about that. And I've seen this over and over and over with agents. They start the day and it doesn't go right, and they give away the day, and they give away the week, and they give away the month, and the quarter, and the year. So what I actually have here on paper is the fact that agents have the habit of not learning how to put themselves back up. And this business, if you don't learn to do that, let me tell you, this business is to be hit every single day by issues, problems, rejection. Everything is your way. It's not going to go your way. Here it goes. Welcome. It's your turn. You don't have to come here and do this speech now.
My wife is at a job site and they lost the client's dog.
Oh, I guess the day is over there.
I was crying.
That's really something.
I was crying.
So if I have something in my notes here for you out of the 5 that I promise I'll give you today, the number 1 is to find out and figure out a way to keep your mindset strong all day long, regardless of what's going to happen. Regardless of how many times you're going to be rejected, and how many times you're going to lose a deal, and how many times people are going to list with their agent while they were actually promised you that they're going to list with you, and how many flat tires are going to happen, how many people and mothers and fathers are going to ask you to help them, and kids are going to ask you to come and do the job for them, and so on. Stay yourself strong no matter what, because the second you let that slip, anything that comes after, the next 4 that I'm going to talk about, they're not going to happen. So that's my number 1. Number 2, I wrote down here, I don't know how many of you, but Show of hands. How many of you have a goal for this year to make $100,000 in this business this year? A couple? 100,000?
Or more.
Let's say 100,000, and let's for a second just flip the tables. Let's say you are right now in a position of hiring a salesperson and you pay them $100,000. It comes out of your pocket, out of your account right now. You pay $100,000 a salesperson to work for you because you hire them. What would you require from these people that you hire? You have someone that you go into an office today with them because you hired them, and they're at their table and you're at yours. What would you require from this person to do?
Dedication, discipline.
What?
Absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything. But would you consider that they will at least do what's in the job description that you hire? Would you feel comfortable if they're actually next to you and they start scrolling on TikTok?
No, I lose my shit.
You would lose your shit, eh? Where here's the interesting thing. A lot of us right now, when I said $100,000, said, or more. A lot of us here don't consider $100,000 being a lot of money. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you're probably gonna want to have 200. How much is that per month? It's 16,000. I'm not good at math, but I put it on paper, so you know. It's $16,000. So if I have all of you, salesperson, in my office, and I have to pay you, every single one of you, $16,000 every month from my account, I can tell you you're going to be tied up to this. And we're going to work day in and day out. But would you consider that at $200,000 there's a certain amount of responsibility that you would have? Okay. And yet we don't do the activity. Isn't that fascinating? That we're not doing the activities that if somebody would watch us, the activities that we deserve $200,000. We're not. But what if we want $300,000? How much is that per month?
24.
$25,000. That's how much it is per month. And the question that I have for you, if somebody right now pays you $25,000 a month, right now, every single month, they're going to put in your account $25,000 a month. Do you think they will have the expectation to do what's in your job description, which is 40 to 50 contacts a day? Do you think they're going to say, that's okay to do 3? It's okay. It's okay, Sirtaj, you don't need to do 50. Job description says that, but I'm still going to give you 25 if you do 3. Do you think they're going to say that? Do you think it's expected from you that if the job description that pays you $25,000 a month is to preview 5 properties a day, do you think that that employer will expect you to preview 5 properties a day? Say yes.
Yes.
Because not only that they're going to look what you did, but they want these activities to be productive, to be rewarded with sales, to be rewarded with income for them to pay you 25. But yet, we don't do that. None of us, including me. I don't do every single day the activities that it will take for an employer to pay me $25,000 a month. So my number 2 in here is treat this as a business and as a job. We have this duty towards these people that they're paying us $25,000 a month to do the activities that they're required. But because we don't have a boss, we don't do it. But then we are frustrated. In the same time, the same people that they're not doing their activities, we're frustrated that we're not getting $200,000 or $300,000 a month. So anybody gets what I'm getting with this? If you put yourself in a position of an employer, you're going to figure out what your expectations should be from yourself. So that was my number 2. I wrote down here the number 3. It's more important to be consistent than to be precise. It's more essential for your success to be consistent than to be precise. It's not about being perfect, and that's for you, Shadi. It's about being consistent. And I've been asked so many times, by agents and podcasts, how do you always stay so motivated? I don't. I actually, most of the time, and you can attest, and where is she? I feel like I'm going to pull my hair out, and some of it came off. I don't. I stay consistent, even in the days that I don't feel like doing what I want to do. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of days that I actually have no desire to get on the phone with any of you. But the second I get on the phone, I get excited. And I fit on that energy. And I have to do what I have to do. Because if I change your life, then I change mine. So, this is my
Number 2.
my number 3. Thank you, babe. I wrote down here, the power of consistency is the most powerful tool in the world when it comes to sales. If you're consistent enough to do the right activities, you will collect consistent rewards. In sales, more than any other profession, being consistent is the key that pays the most. You can actually do the activities, inconsistent activities, if you're doing it, even if you do the right things, but inconsistent, it will pay you 0. And if you prospect, for example, with intensity, you know what you're doing, you know your script, you're confident, you're enthusiastic, and you have the energy, and you're doing it for 3-4 days, but then you don't prospect for the entire month, the results are really 0. If you're doing it 1 hour a day, but for a long time, you're going to get good results. Not great, but good results. And that brings me to something that is so important in sales, because I hear it all the time, is the expectancy in sales. And people don't understand it, and salespeople don't understand it. If you have mediocre activities and behavior in sales, you don't get mediocre results. Agents think, and maybe be satisfied with a mediocre income, because real estate agents, let's face it, mediocre income is better than the average income in Canada right now. But the problem is, mediocre actually brings you 0 results in sales. That's what they mean. If you have good, you get mediocre results. If you have great activities, they give you good results. If you have extraordinary activities and behavior, you get exceptional results. So as you can see in sales, and that's something that agents don't understand, we don't get what we put in. We're always behind a step, a level. You put in mediocre activities, you get 0 results. And that takes me to, to my number 4, where I wanted to talk about the shortage of inventory. And the fact that when there's a shortage of inventory, having a passive, what Andrea was talking about, understanding what's the passive and active approach in real estate is not working. It's really not working. And you have to have a proactive approach in generating leads. And the tendency overall, for agents, even regardless of the market, is that there's no inventory, there's buyers and sellers don't want to buy and sell, and so on. So one of the things that I would highly recommend as an activity that you can do literally after you leave from here, it's the rule of 5-5-5. If you don't know what that is, I'll let you know. It's preview 5 properties a day. And that means 5 properties a day, 5 days a week. That means 25 homes. If you preview 25 homes and you door knock 5 homes about the properties that you preview, that brings you to 125 properties preview, door knock per month, per week. And we know from the stats, and you can go and verify yourself regardless of what board you're in, every single time when a property is listed and sold, 2 others are coming on the same street within 90 days. So the reality is, you're actually door knocking the warm leads of sellers. And when there's a shortage of inventory, if you're working with a lot of buyers, you're gonna get extremely frustrated. And before you know it, you go out with buyers that end up actually being priced out within a month. And you wasted your time. So if we are in the market that we're in right now, when there's such a shortage of market, of inventory, I highly recommend go where the product is, at the door. That's where the product is. And I have no idea what she's going to say, but as you can see, they still door knock. They don't door knock anymore for buyers and sellers, but they door knock for agents, because now they're in recruiting. But they're still doing where the product is, at the door. So that's what I highly recommend right now. If anybody right now goes and door knock preview, and what the preview means, preview gives you way more than just, which is the most important, the leads. You go at the warm leads, but it gives you product knowledge. It gives you an understanding how to price properties. It gives you an understanding how the market shifts so fast from being 28 offers on a property and the next day no offer on the property that was sold hot a week ago. How would you know that? Buyer's behavior. And how do you know that? When you preview a property, you go in the system, you become part of the system. If there's any offers, they're registered, they notify you. You know at all times how the market fluctuates and what's the buyer's behavior. You're not going to know if you don't preview properties. And you're not going to know why a property that looks so good on MLS, it ended up selling for less, because you didn't preview it. To realize that it has a terrible layout, to realize that the renovations were absolutely crap. So the only way that you can actually become an expert and go out the door is by previewing properties and go door knock around these. Does it make sense what I'm saying here?
A lot.
Okay. I would love to hear it, with more energy. I know my legs are hurting right now so bad. Of course. Okay, so I wrote down here, we are in a job of meeting people. Your job is to meet people. And in the shortage market, is focusing, like I said, on buyers will not get you far. Go where the product is. Once you meet the people, you do the follow-up. The follow-up becomes an appointment. The appointment becomes a signed contract. Get a sale, and you pay your bills. So go out the door. And that was my number. Babe, you're keeping track?
Yeah.
What?
Number 5.
That was number 4. That was number
You're going on to number 5.
Yes, we're going into number 5. In a difficult market, you don't adjust your goals. You adjust your skills. And sharpening your skills is so important. And nobody, pay attention to that because, I want to be myself. Why not? Looks like I'm getting along with my friends, but you're not getting along with strangers. And even if you have, for example, you don't have to door knock, you have your buyer leads, your seller's leads. These people are introducing their information to many websites. The reality is you're pretty cold. So if you don't know what to say and how to say it, then you're out of the business. So I put it here that in a market like this, we are in an extremely volatile market. This is the market where sellers are making and buyers are making decisions on impulse. Buyers are making on scarcity that they're losing something and they end up paying ridiculous prices. They have nothing to do with the reality and mess up the entire market. And sellers all of a sudden, they all think they have the Versailles Palace as their homes, and the fact that we open the door, it's even like such a big deal for people to come and see it. And that's a volatile market. That's not a market that you can count on. So when I hear agents saying, hey, the market is great, just sell, because the market is great. I say, why? Why are you doing that? you're leveraging the market, then why should I hire you? If the market is so great, and all of these agents are making me crazy that it's so great, what? I can sell it myself. So I would highly recommend stop leveraging the market as being the reason of the sale. It's the agents that they make the difference. And even in markets like that, if you take the time and do your homework, you're going to see properties, and we have in our neighborhood, one sold for 1.5, one sold for $2 million. That's $500,000, and the agent made the difference. So I would definitely stop right now by saying the market is great, because the market tomorrow can be absolutely crap. And what are you going to do with the listing that you pay for home inspection, you pay for photography, you pay for and yet it's not selling because the market shift. We're dealing with kids that act on impulse. Sellers are pushed by agents that they can get a lot, and also agents are pushing buyers that make the offer as high as you can because you're going to miss out. So everybody's acting on emotions here in a market like this. But if you go preview properties, if you learn what to say, if you learn how to talk with the client and the prospect when they are motivated, and if you're looking for people that they're not speculating the market, but they have a reason to sell, and there's so many of them, like, leave behind people. There's so many divorces out there. So find the ones that they have to sell. Then rational mind will kick in. And if you have a rational mind and just saying the market is hot because you have the stats, because you learn what to say, because you learn the market, because you know the buyer's behavior, then it's going to be so much easier to convince people to price property correct and to definitely come across as the specialist. And trust me, you're going to make a huge difference between what you say in a listing presentation that is backed up by stats and numbers versus an agent that's going to say, beautiful home, beautiful dog. I have a dog also. And by the way, the market is hot, let's get you on the market. And that's pretty much everything they're saying. So sharpen your skills is my number 5. And it will make a difference for you after you find the prospect, because you don't know the 5 properties that you previewed. It's going to make a difference for you to get the listing signed. And become a listing agent, definitely. Everything, become a listing agent. You want to be successful in business, you want to grow, just become a listing agent. I'm totally for the buyers. But the people you sell, they're going to buy. And they're going to recommend you. But don't go for the buyers, because you're not going to go far. You go and drive the buyers, they make you crazy. And you waste your time. Go and door knock, you get a listing, you price it right, you get it sold. And that's the end of it. You can have 30 listings in the same time. You cannot have three buyers in the same time because they make you nuts. So become a listing agent. And if you want to know how to become a listing agent, on 22nd of April, we have Daniel Deere here, which I don't know if you know him, but if not, go and Google him. He's #1 team of luxury homes for sale in San Diego. He's going to be our speaker, and I also going to have my listing presentation presented to you. And thank you for being here. And if you have any questions,